powerful storm causing a massive humanitarian crisis in three
Hello, good morning and welcome to the Gambia Radio and Television Services, and this is the AM show.
Yes, we're coming to you live from our studios here on MDI Road, broadcasting for viewers in the Gambia and around the world. This is your early morning show that sets your day in motion, bringing you the best of current affairs, entertainment, sports, and of course some exciting interviews with the people who matter. My name is Fatih Elikumloshi, and my co-host, as usual, is
Khadija Bokum.
Right, Khadija, what do you have?
Yes, and coming up in this morning's program, the University of the Gambia braces up for another major convergence dubbed the Student Week. What does this event mean for the Student Union? Well, we will hear more from the members of this.
Also, staging sporting events vastly helps to advance cohesion and meaningful interactions between people. What has some key figures been saying about this? We will find out later in the show. For these plus other segments on the show today with us, do stay with us. Well, Khadi?
Well, welcome back. We start this segment, of course, with my favorite segment, which is the breakfast segment. Let's see what they have for us today on the menu.
I miss seeing you, hear you say my favorite segment. I think it's been a while since we had a segment on
and
the
I'm
AM
so
show.
hungry, you know. Mulo, I think I need some of this. Well,
Does this go for yawning too? Guys, let's go for
I
this.
think I want it.
Welcome to GRTS Breakfast Segment Show. Today, I'm presenting to you a meal, a very delicious meal in 10. So basically, we've got avocado here, which is of course a very nutritious, highly nutritious and very beautiful fats. We've got the sardine, and I've got lettuce, which is mixed lettuce, or if you can have it like salad at home. Then we have cherry tomatoes, and I've got eggs. And I've also got beans, which are of course the black eyed beans, of course eggs. Then we get onions, spring onions, and a chili. I've got a mixture of spices or seasoning, which is of course the salt and pepper mixed together just to make it easier for us on the show. So first of all, we need to know why am I using all these ingredients at the same time. Today, fish is becoming a very big item in the market, and then people really need to know what are the other variations of getting a fish meal within our homes. So whatever fish you can get from the fish market, be it fresh from the sea or from a fishmonger, we can equally use sardine in tins to give us the same nutritious value and also quality of feeding in our households. Then of course beans, we know beans are very, very high when it comes to almost they are the best because they, whatever meat or beef is got, beans has got it, but of course with less of the ions that we got in the beefs. So today I started with, of course, I've got onions. Of course, they are all washed to make sure we save time, but I can always wash again for you to see that. You can hear the onions talking to me in the frying pan, obviously. Then, of course, we need it for extra amounts and stuff like that. So, of course, I would like to make it a bit more. Don't try this at home if you're not fully confident with knives. So I'm sauteing, which is kind of like frying, slow frying or low heat frying of my onions, just to make sure they are broken into pieces as I mean in the middle of. You don't really need onions, overcooked, because in that way you're getting into a different level of balancing. Of course, onions got what we call it sedative effects, meaning they can help you sleep well. And they are also flavor enhancers, and they give you a better taste, and also gives you what we call the texture on the palate. So now that I've got the onion sauteed, all I need to do now is to season it, which of course I've got the salt and pepper here ready. So I'll just do a little teaspoon. So this is not up to the size of a teaspoon, that's why I'm doing more into it. I will pour in now my high protein. So whatever meals we preparing before you should be done within 10 minutes and presented on the table within the same 10 minutes. So now that I've got this going on there, I've got my cherry tomatoes, which are still washed. Like I said, they've all been washed already, but nothing wrong having to wash again. So I cut them in lengthways. These are cherry plums, by the way, beautiful with flavors. So I'm just still gonna add this into it. You can add as many as you want, depending on your love to onions. See, sometimes we like to do our nyekes in many different ways, but it's also good to have it in this version. So now while this is preparing, and then I'm sure the flavors are now interacting and then it's infusing within itself. So I need to get myself ready with the salad because the meal is just about to be ready. Almost every vegetable before consuming, you need to get it washed. Well, the best way to wash a salad or lettuce is having to make sure it's washed in acid, which is either lemon juice, vinegar, or sometimes they use chlorine. Or if you don't have any of those, you can always go back to fresh, clean water. The reason why you use chlorine or acids into lettuce is because lettuce do have some insects that will like to consume or be on them, but they survive on leaves and their skins are very soft. So when you have acid over them, it burns the skins and they don't survive it. They will have to die. So that's why we use that. So now that this is ready, I'll turn it off. The reason of me turning it off, I don't want it overly hot. I know at home we always call it pear, but this is not a pear. A pear is kind of like, it's got the look of a guava at home. Almost they all have the similar guava look, but a pear would have kind of more like the old fluorescent filament bulbs. But this is called a pear, avocado. The best to do with an avocado is use a spoon to go, get this, and then you grab it, comes out. There are many ways. Either you cut it again and do like you do a mango. Cross, 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 cross. Then you open it this way. It's all allowed. Then you can easily pour it all out without having to waste time. And it will come out very nice and clean. So either this way. So I'm gonna still use the skin of it. And then this one, you can get this also in a different way, using a spoon again. The reason why I use a spoon, because the shape of an avocado is almost the shape of a spoon. So you can always go this way, then it helps you to get it scooped out nicely. You got it out again. Then the skin, I wouldn't need that. Then this will stay around there because I wouldn't need it too. So then, because that one was cross-cross, this one also would be of the same. Keep it cutting. For avocado or greens like this, the best to be able to enhance their flavors out is having to squeeze a bit of lemon juice over it, and it brings the flavors out. These lemons or all these vegetables here and salads have been cleaned and cleaned. So don't you worry. The reason why I'm going this way is because before cutting a lime or a lemon, you need to squeeze so that it gets broken inside, and while squeezing it, it's easier to get the juice out. So then squeeze that lemon or lime actually. Fine. Now my meal in 10 is ready and about to be presented to you or plated to you. Plate is wiped up nice and dry before being on display. So now I have the beans mixture ready, the avocado is ready, and I've got the sardine. You've got loads of this beautiful combination to get you a really balanced diet in your morning to kickstart your day. So here we go with the presentation. The salad already washed. So I'm doing the salad on one area only. Then I'll have to use this avocado. I think the Kamarakundas, when they see this, they will start going, "Boy." You know them. When it comes to food, they don't joke. They're always on point. They're never late. They will be late for school, they will be late for other things, but when it comes to food, they will always be the ones to be there first. But that's the nature of the Kamarakundas. What I've done with these eggs, these are perfectly soft boiled eggs. I mean, sometimes we get our eggs overcooked that you cannot even see the difference between a yolk and a white. But here we go. Now when you open it, you can see it, voila, runny in the middle. This is what we're talking about. And then you just go like that. Another one here. So now I'm gonna flake this sardine that's actually been nicely crispy fried. And then now my food is ready. All I need to do is having to add just a bit of reddish coloring into it, just to give that color burst. Then this is just spring onion. I know you have a lot of greens on it. But at the end of the day, what's wrong in having more greens on your plate? It can only go greener. Greener, the better. Here we go. That's your meal in 10. Fresh avocado, perfectly running boiled egg, crunchy fried sardine, and a few halves of cherry plum tomatoes. Here we go, meals in 10. Have a bite. Tell us how you feel about it. I am happy with my presentation. Obviously, it's big for all the Kamakundas to enjoy themselves. For me, as a Bojan, I'll go a small drop. Meals in 10, GRTS only breakfast segment. Chef Bojan, presenter today. Thank you so much.
Well, beautiful there. Chef is always energetic and excited to give us new recipe to try on the show. Well, Kadi will digest that with the latest from Nobles, released recently. The Buzz song is a Nobles song featuring Attack. The track is a proof of the multi-talents of the Nobles Gambia. Well, this song is a dance tune. Let's see if we can dance to it as well in the studio.
Attack force, you will live beg again. Hey, wakalwai, hey, wakalwai. Layward, buzz. Hey, wakalwai, hey, wakalwai. Layward, buzz, 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 buzz. Facebook, buzz. Insta, buzz. Twitter, buzz. Snapchat, buzz.
Levi awi tebom enyab onom pebom buko fegi lenje kebom hampu yagala to betom in heche wuni kuy good international la nyundamo we do the shit for the money all house bang your buddy the power with the gang yeah when we pull out this red matey gang canny gang you know it's bang bang the power with the gang yeah when we pull out this red matey gang canny gang you know it's bang bang
any one day Daniel mangi dawa holbu set mo rafet holbu bon nyawe jealousy is not good bro just wait for your time now Nobles ñewal tine rata comme lalo dafa ñu dara mi di sauti bouti ko problem mi check are you Michael Mouti you like the buzz I got the buzz you want the buzz kon jëlal buzz ay waxal waay lay wër Facebook, buzz, Insta, buzz, Twitter, buzz, Snapchat, buzz.
can't feel my legs anymore. Come on, I've been dancing and Muloshi was dancing. I never knew you're a good dancer. You
know what? I think, you know, they're right. This is really a dance tune, you know, and so they've really bozzified the entire studio. But I'm pretty sure this is just a tip of the iceberg of what the Nobles.
Yeah, I need some lessons from you after. So we just go by the corner and you teach me some dance steps.
No
well,
I'm all for it.
no problem. Well, anyways, moving on from that. The University of the Gambia Students' Union, who is set to host its annual Students' Week in the Lower River settlement of Tendaba, the yearly week-long student activity is one rare opportunity that brings together students from different faculties to learn, to share ideas, and to have fun. Well, today we are joined by our very own Fadmoda Sise to give us an in-depth discussion on this week-long activity that is about to hold. Welcome, Fadmoda.
She's the chairperson of the organizing committee.
Oh, exactly. She's the chairperson, by the way, too.
Thank you. Good morning, Khadija. Good morning, Mulushi.
Morning.
It's so good to be with all of you on this platform. It's an awesome platform, widely watched, like I always say.
Nice, thank you. Now, Fadmoda, it's just few days away for this event to hold. How far would the preparations for this or let's say for this all-important Students' Week?
Well, thank you so much, Khadija. At this juncture, I would like to say a very beautiful morning to all your viewers. And back to your question, I would like to tell you that we've gone so far in terms of preparations as far as the Students' Week is concerned. I'm sure you are aware that the program would commence on the 31st of January. In fact, the 31st of January is when we are departing the Greater Banjul area for Lower River region, and then the actual program will start on the 1st of February 2021. So preparations are in high gear. We're trying to do finishing touches, final touches, I would say. We are going up and down. It's been a busy week for all of us, myself and the organizing committee, about 50 people or so working with. To ensure that this event becomes a success, but not only a success, a remarkable one that students or the incoming executives would like to refer to as a student week that they want to look up to as far as those activities are concerned. So preparations are in high gear, and I'm happy to let you know that we have everything in place. It's just a matter of getting one or two things to Tendaba, and then the students would definitely join. I will lead them to Tendaba on the 31st. So
I'm excited already. It seems like I'll take part in this. But to honor that, how many students are you targeting as we speak?
Well, we are taking 300 students to Tendaba this year. Compared to previous years, we used to have more than 300 students attending this particular event. But looking at the situation on the ground, we know we are in COVID-19. We have to adhere to the COVID-19 precautionary measures set out by the Ministry of Health, set out by the WHO. And of course, these are part of our activities this year, this time around in 2021. So as a result, we sat as a committee to look at all these factors, and at some point we reach a decision, and that is to take not more than 300 students compared to previous years where you have 450 or above. This year we are going to take 300 students, and that would include the invitees, that will include every other resource person who will join us at Tendaba. So in essence, we are talking about less than 275 students, but the rest will be invitees and all other resource persons who will be joining us at Tendaba. So yes, 300.
Interesting that you said 300, and that's in fact, you know, little compared to the numbers that they've been having in the previous years. We've seen how much students built keen interest in going to Tendaba, even after the tickets were sold out. Tell us, how are you managing the situation?
It's really been tense for me this past days, Mulushi. To be honest, I've been having sleepless nights. Students will be calling me at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., 1 a.m. Madam Chair, we want a ticket, Madam Chair. But our hands are so tied. It's good to always stick to your stance in as far as decision making is concerned. So when we met the Tendaba officials, a lot of things have been put to our attention regarding the pressure that is normally incited on their facilities as far as the Students' Week is concerned. And they brought this to my attention and had pleaded with me to look into this and try to cut down the number that usually attend this event. Because normally when you take a whole lot of students, they pay ticket to be honest. But it's one thing to pay ticket and have a lot of money, but it's another thing to accommodate all of them.
Quality as well.
It's another thing to make them comfortable. And the moment moment you fail in that, it will, bounce back on you. So you got to be very careful in terms of, how you go about this whole activity. So students will be calling me, those who want to participate in the respective activities. Madam Chair, we don't have ticket. Can you please, print out more tickets and all that? It's at some point it becomes tempting, but you don't also want to lose your credibility. And then we are trying to put a legacy here as far as the Students' Week 2021 is concerned. And our legacy is very, very pertinent to us as far as this committee is concerned. So yes, students have been calling, not only me, they've been calling the president of the UTGSU. He will always refer them to me. I'll call him, I'll tell him, Mr. President, you cannot always refer them.
Because he doesn't want to be in a mess.
Absolutely. So it's been really hectic, but I'm sure a lot of them are not understanding.
They will not.
No, they are not. But then a lot of them have been understanding, because when they call me and then I happen to talk to them and then try to make them understand the reason, and I would tell them, do you want to go to Tandaba and have nowhere to sleep? You want to go to Tandaba and have no one to cater for you in terms of food? You want to go to Tandaba and be loitering around? They would say no. I said, this is our reason. And then when you look at Tandaba, if you've been there, you would realize that there have been a lot of structures in the previous years, but this year you have a couple of them that have been demolished because they are embarking on a massive facelifting there at Tandaba. Absolutely. So the new structures are all in good shape, and all the round huts are in good shape, but there are a lot of structures that have been demolished. And then looking at that, you would get to realize that you got to cut down the number that will be attending this. But yes, some are understanding, majority are not. They are still calling.
The loyal Tandaba attendees. I mean, I've never been to the Student Week, but I've been to Tandaba, and I know it's a cool and nice place.
Same here.
The nature.
Same here.
Right?
It's by virtue of my position when I was the president of the School of Journalism. I've been...
Our class is a mess. We've never been to Tandaba.
Absolutely. So I've never been there, but having that experience, being the president of the school, having organized a lot of programs, you've been there, emceeing all the activities yourself and Sankule. And of course...
You're making me regret now why I cannot go
and then it's going to be fantastic. It's going to be spectacular as far as this.
I'm going to regret this. But
this
believe
particular...
GRTS worry.
Absolutely. So I'm having the wealth of knowledge. Even though I've never been to Tandaba, as far as Students' Week is concerned, I've been there for a lot of activities, but I've never been there for the Students' Week. But by virtue of that experience as the president of the School of Journalism and having, conveying a lot of activities, it gave me a lot of energy to be able to mobilize resources this time. It's been very difficult in terms of that resource mobilization, but yes, we are on track as far as this activity is concerned.
Just a little bit on that before we go, because we've seen that consistently the Student Week has been held at Tandaba. What is so special about the place, especially this time around, that makes us want to go there again?
So all the interviews I've been embarking on have been the same question. Yes, a lot of people are wondering why we are always opting for Tandaba. So what I always tell them is Mr. Toure is the, I wouldn't say he's the only person, but right now he is he is the guy, who can reason well with us. Yes, we've been there shortly and then we took this footage. That is my information team. They did that, and the secretariat, they're doing fantastic. They're doing fantastic. So they're on their toes. I'm trying to take footage of Tandaba. I go there practically every day, I would say, to see what is definitely on the ground. So this footage you're seeing has been the ones for the previous years. But back to your question, Tandaba is a place, when it comes to our culture, one could relate. Because when you go there, you look at the structures, there, and then part of the activities that we hold as a committee, would include cultural activities, but not only cultural activities. We have all the diverse activities that we embark on. And then not only that, Mr. Toure is one person who reasons well with students, because we all know when you take a group of students to a particular place, the place at some point becomes chaotic. It's really very difficult sometimes to contain them. But this man is someone who reasons very well with students, and then we went around the country to see where actually we could hold the Students' Week aside Tandaba. And then the previous years, last year 2020, the UTGSU had also planned to take this activity out of the country, but it didn't work out the way they wanted it to be, because it involves a lot of logistics, and it coincided with the COVID-19 and so on. So they couldn't take the activity out of the country. But this time around, we say, okay, let us see what we can do. Let us go around and see where we can actually hold this particular event. it didn't work out, because when you go to these proprietors, they will ask
They
for
don't want.
exorbitant. They in fact want, but the prices are they're so exorbitant, and then we know we can't afford that. So we always have to go to Mr. Toure. He reasons with us. He reasons with students as far as this particular activity is concerned. So yes, for now,
Students like discount.
It's absolutely because
need
we
to bring
we
Mr.
don't have
Toure
the
though.
money. We don't have all the money
We need
to
to talk to
finance
Mr.
that.
Toure
So
for
we
being
need someone
nice.
who would reason with us. Because like Munushi, it's also important to know that as far as this activity is concerned, 2021, we've gone round. It's been so tiring, knocking on one door to the other, and then all these doors remain closed. You know, the main sponsors of this activity will be the UN system, and then this year we've not seen them coming forward to sponsor this particular activity. A lot of donors are donor fatigue as far as the COVID-19 is concerned, and then we've resorted to using other alternatives, and yes, it's been paying dividend. We want to thank the President, our Chancellor. He really came to our aid, and of course the UTG administration. You know, we have a lot of people, Simon Imadi, and then yes, all the individuals who saw that they should really support Fatu Camera, Fatu Network, and so on. They saw that they should really support us to ensure that this event becomes a success. So yes, we are grateful to all of them. Although we didn't get the support, yes, staff as well came.
This time
yes,
again?
yeah, he came on board, not massively like he used to. Yes, but at least he chipped in in a manner that he can.
Later we'll get to look at the budget. You know, maybe we also have a own share from
We will review that in our subsequent, in your subsequent AM shows.
I'm sure, yes. But
Absolutely.
away from that, let's look at the team for this year. What is the team focusing on, and why?
So this year's team will be focusing on the role of university education in promoting democracy, peace, and security. And this is the team we came up with as far as this Students' Week is concerned. And because when you look at democracy, it's something Gambians will term as something new as far as the country is concerned, as far as our governance is concerned. But when you look at security as well, a lot of people describe it as something very crucial as far as the maintenance of the stability of a country is concerned. And then so this is why we want to see the role university education would play, but not only the university education, the role university students would play in the maintenance of peace, security, and democracy. And then we are not only stopping at having lectures or seminars on this, because when you talk about the Students' Week, many people will just try to think otherwise that it's all about fun. It's not only about fun, especially this 2021 Students' Week. It's with a difference. We will be having fun. The fun part will be there, but we will also be having the educational part. And then we'll be paying specific attention to this theme. It's very crucial. We are in an election year, and it's always important to look at these issues before December. It's always to talk to people about democracy. It's important to enlighten students about democracy, what democracy is all about. People oftentimes think that it's only the illiterates who don't know what democracy is about, but you look at the literates, you know, sometimes they themselves wouldn't understand what democracy is all about. And then this leads us in most occasions to violate certain rules in the name of democracy. So we need to enlighten students about this. We need to talk to students about what security is all about, what the maintenance of security is all about, but not only that, what peace is all about, what it means to have peace, what it means when you lose that status quo as far as peace building is concerned. So yes, this is what the activity will revolve around. We will not stop at Tendaba, but we are planning to go beyond Tendaba, communities, you know, surrounding Tendaba, and in fact beyond, to talk to people. Yes, that will be the community outreach. But aside that, the community outreach will be going side by side with a seminar in the hall where we are expecting the lead counsel of the TRRC, we're expecting the Inspector General of Police, we're expecting Jundo Drame, and a host of many other resource persons who are experts in their own domains to talk to students, enlighten them, and then together we will map out strategies and solutions to some of the issues confronting not only the society, but students as far as their basic understanding of these components we're talking about are concerned.
This is very important.
It is.
And I'm so glad that you came up with this, because democracy has been a term that people do not really
tend to abuse sometimes.
Tend to abuse.
Absolutely.
Because just like we have been saying, where your right ends is where another man's right begin. But it's crazy. So you having this in the midst of students, for them to have the knowledge and the idea about what this entails, it's very important. But now, still on democracy, let's look at the elections. Has the delay in this year's election any way affected this forthcoming convergence or the students' activities, the students' union?
Well, I wouldn't say it's
Student
delayed.
union election.
Yes,
It's
the
students'
student election,
because
yes.
we know there's been an impasse as far as this year's
Looks like,
yes, the
it's
past
definitely
elections.
an impasse.
Yeah, there was an impasse, and then the matter was taken to the judicial
Court,
tribunal of the University of the Gambia.
Yeah.
At some point, the jury there had to block the swearing in of the President Jassy and team because a petition has been filed against them by their opponent and to say there were some malpractices in the whole electoral process, and then the judicial tribunal had to look into that, and then before they came up with a judgment and all that, and then it wasted a lot of time as far as this before these people settled down in office, and then soon after they settled down, just a couple of weeks, they appointed me as the chairperson. I declined initially because having followed what transpired as far as the previous students' weeks are concerned, I realized that it used to be very hectic, and then considering the work that we do here, and then you want to do that simultaneously with this particular responsibility, it becomes very tedious as far as your well-being, in fact, is concerned. So, but at some point, I couldn't get away, so I took up the challenge, and then I had limited time to hold this particular activity because these people, they had a delay before they came into office, and then nothing is going to be backdated for them. They're just going to continue. Where that tenure ends, if it is December, that is where it ends. The University of the Gambia would go into fresh elections, and then the Students' Week is one activity that is top of the agenda of any university council, UTGSU council. So they dare not miss this particular opportunity. And then the only time frame that we have to capitalize on would be this period where the school is going on a break because the exams are over, and then there will be a break for a week. So when I came, because when I was appointed, it's just barely a month, and then I said to my team, we have to set a date. We have to set a date, and they said, Madam Chair, that will be very difficult. People were like, this, we have to hold this in the next 3 months. I said, it's always good to set a target for yourself, work towards it. If you can achieve it, then you look at all the alternatives, but you cannot just draw a conclusion to say this wouldn't materialize. And then I put everybody under pressure. You have to do this, you have to do that. And then I started, assigning everyone. And then under a month, we are able to mobilize the much needed resources to all this activity. When you look at the previous, it takes them about 4 or 5 months, but under a month, myself and my team are able to do this. So a very big thanks to all the team. They're a formidable team I have out there, with a wealth of experience in terms of organizing. It's really, it's been hectic, just under a month, but we did it.
Very well. I mean, it's very impressive, Famata. And we've been seeing the updates every single day. Already, I thought that the program has already started because the way I've been seeing the flyers, it's already evident that there's a legacy being set here. And we're pretty much waiting for that.
So
of course,
I'm always on there.
Wherever Fatumata is here, rest assured. But yes, we've completely run out of time, Famata. But before we let go of you, you of course want to tell the students once again what you have in store for them.
Well, we have a lot of activities in store for them. The pitching competition is there. A lot of them are building interest in that because it attracts some prizes. Because the previous years you have winners going home with $80,000. Second winner, going home with $70,000, and then you have the third prize, $50,000. So a lot of people are eyeing that particular activity. So rest assured, aside that, we have the ball night, we have the cultural night. We have a lot of artists. So Nobles, they will be attending the program. We have the likes of Attack, ST, like Mulishi would say, is our favorite. So a lot of activities will be ongoing, and then we have the likes of Salim Benga, they will be part of the cultural activity, and we have a lot of dignitaries who will be attending our respective seminars and all the sessions. So we apologize to all those who cannot grab their ticket, and then we show you will be able to take part in subsequent activities, but we promise all of you, and especially those who bought our ticket, that you're going to have fun, and then you are going to be educated and enlightened about all the issues affecting us. So thank you all.
Well, very well. Tell Sankule I'll be there with him in spirit.
I will tell him.
That was Fatima Tassisi, of course, our owner, who is also the chairperson of the UTG Student Union organizing team. We're very much looking forward to that big event, which is scheduled for next week. We'll take a break with coffee with. Let's take a look at who Senabu Jain has for us. In fact, she had a discussion with Musu Bakoto Sao. Take a look at this.
and welcome to another episode of Coffee With. I am your host, Saina Bujang, and with me in the studio is Musu Bakoto Sawa, a young lady I've been waiting to interview. It's been a year or so, but I believe now is the right time, and that's why we're here today. So I'll do nothing but welcome her to the interview platform and continue. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Saina.
You're welcome.
My apologies.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's been a crazy year,
I
but
know.
I believe this is the right time as well. This is when it was willed.
Yeah.
And I am thankful to be here. So thank you for inviting me.
You're welcome. Thank you, thank you. You know, the ones that are advocating for change, you know, when you hear their stories, it encourages you to speak up. And it gives you hope, even if someone hasn't gone through FGM or child marriage. But anything else that they've gone through, like GBV and all of that, then they can feel free to speak up. And so, you know, we have the example of Jaha. She also spoke out about her experience, and now that has inspired young people to actually speak up. So we need more Jahas and Musus. So let's talk about your educational background. How has being a lawyer impacted the change you're yearning for?
So from a really early age, I've always known that I wanted to do something in relation to the law. I remember growing up, I wanted to be a police woman, until someone crushed that dream and told me that, well, if you want to be a police officer, you don't really have to be educated. Yes, because that's the stereotypes that are associated being in the service. But now growing up, you see that it's different. You have exceptional lawyers who are members of the police fraternity, a part of the law enforcement agencies. So I was like, okay, if that's the case, then I want to be a lawyer, because I have seen how the lack of existence of the laws in this country at the time has impacted women, girls. And even now that we have very progressive laws, we've seen how some cases are litigated, some of the gaps that existed. So I knew then that I would commit my life to provide assistance to women in whatever, and girls in whatever way I could. And what better way than to study law? So I studied, I went to high school, completed that, and subsequently gained admission, of course, at the University of the Gambia, where I graduated with a Bachelor of Laws. And then subsequently, I knew that I wanted to specialize in something that would help me even more. And that would also mean learning about the international and regional legal frameworks, that particularly those that are very protective of women and girls. So I applied for the prestigious University of Pretoria, at the Center for Human Rights, for a scholarship in Human Rights and Democratization in Africa. It's a Master of Laws. And I was fortunate enough to get admission and also to get the scholarship, making me the third Gambian to get into that program. The first was Marisen Firdaus, the second was Satang Nabane, and I was Dr. Satang Nabane, and I was fortunate enough to be the third Gambian to enroll into that program. Yeah, so I wanted to specialize in human rights. I wanted to be a human rights lawyer, and I'm thankful that that opportunity has been granted. And I recently, in order to be able to be recognized as a legal practitioner in the Gambia, I enrolled into law school, the Gambia Law School, after 7 years of my LLB, and then 6 years after my LLM, I finally enrolled into the law school, and then I passed the bar. So looking forward to being called to the Gambia bar very soon.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So that now calls for congratulations.
Thank you.
For passing, you know, all of the levels and these educational tiers to get to where you are now. And also, you've just been recently, you know, been the winner for the 2020 Daily Trust African of the Year Award. Everyone's talking about it. And, you know, this isn't the first award you've won. We've won many in the past. So tell us how you felt when the 7-member award selection committee, led by former president of Botswana, His Excellency Dr. Festus Mogae, announced you as the winner. How did you feel?
I still don't know, because there's still a lot of emotions a lot of humility, because I do this work not for the sake of recognitions or whatsoever. I do it because I am passionate about it, because there's a sense of fulfillment that working in this area brings me, the joy that it brings me. It brings me a lot of happiness, to be honest. So when such recognitions come, I'm usually overwhelmed, because I remember when I first read the email, I cried. So I can be a crybaby sometimes. But that happens because I can be very emotional, because this is something that I wasn't expecting at all. I did not apply for it. I was nominated by UNDP under the leadership of Aissata Day, and they found me worthy of being nominated and subsequently sent the nomination. So for the high caliber of people to find me worthy of, you know, being recognized or being given this award is very humbling. And of course it's still a shock for me. I'm like, I don't even know why I deserve this award, and I'll get the response. I often get the response, oh, you don't even know the importance or the value of the work that you're doing. But that's because I don't even think about myself in that. When I am doing this, it's because of those girls that don't have the platform that I have, don't have the opportunity to have the voice that I have, that those women and girls I seek to represent. So when it comes, it always comes as a great surprise and also a bit overwhelming, most importantly with humility, that I have been found worthy of it. I'm thankful and appreciative of it, that it encourages us to work even harder to ensure that these things that we are passionate about, to ensure that women and girls continue to live a meaningful life in this country.
Nice.
Sawa there, who recently won the Africa Trust award there, and Zainabu was engaging her on Coffee With. I'm sure the full interview will come shortly.
Yes, and from that Coffee With, we now look at some sports-related issues, because it's now common to use sports as a unifying force, helping people to set aside their differences. In the local communities, the staging of sport events vastly helps to advance cohesion and meaningful interactions between people. Now, Brufut is one such community that is known for sport, especially when it comes to forces for development. The tournament attracted a massive turnout, whereby presidents came, cabinet ministers and some senior government officials were in this tournament, whereby complementing government's effort. Well, we'll take a listen with this excerpt and see what this entails.
Honorable, you've witnessed this final. The purpose is to create unity among the people of Brufut. I mean, what's your impression about that?
Well, thank you so much. I think this was a great initiative by the young people of Brufut, because from the very beginning, the president was engaged in this very tournament when he sent in 4 of his cabinet ministers to grace the opening of the entire tournament. And he also donated generously. And being somebody also on my maternal side who actually has a great connection with the people of Brufut, my grandmother is from this place, actually we can't be more happier seeing the young people taking an initiative by themselves, leading all the actions, and then, you know, to this very day when we have now seen the successful, peaceful conclusion of the entire tournament, and today the winners have emerged, but at the end of the day everybody is a winner. They have all, you know, given their 100% in this tournament, and now we can only but congratulate all of them for the spirit that they have, and also the efforts that they have put in, you know, in making this very important tournament, a success. I mean, we continue to thank them and to assure them that the government, especially through the Ministry of Youth and Sports under the able leadership of Honorable Bakar Baji, will continue to work with the young people to see that we improve on sports and sporting facilities in the Gambia. Thank you.
Government have been gearing up efforts to ensure that, I mean, the country is united. I mean, what will be your message to the youths?
Well, my message will be to continue the spirit and later as enshrined in the Gambian Constitution, one Gambia, one people, one nation. When we do that, we will collectively achieve our goal of uniting the country and rallying everybody around the development agenda of this country. At the end of the day, I mean, what is important is to see everybody, you know, singularly and severally participating in the efforts.
I will not be very impressed with the performance of both teams, Team Anne-Marie Juve and the other team Bala. And what we've seen here is a display of talents by both teams. Of course, Team Marie won, but from all the indications, both teams were prepared. They all have gone a lot of training, and we can see that they have all played all the 90 minutes with discipline and with conduct, and that's exactly what we call for when we call for sports, but not just sports, but including the team, which is a unity tournament.
Okay, coming back to the purpose of the tournament, I mean, they said it is staged to unite the people. That must be some important cause.
No, it's very important. I was here when in the first day when the tournament was being opened, and you know, the information we got from the organizers is that it's a unity tournament, which means they're bringing the community of Brufut together. And it's key because sports in general is also one of the objectives is to be able to bring people together. So if you see a community organizing an event like this, and the ultimate aim is to bring people together, all our role will be to support them. And like I said, it has brought people together, and you can see the finals the same way it happened during the opening, but also even among the young people of Brufut. These are different teams that come from different backgrounds with different understanding, but they left all those differences and focused on the football, and we're able to come to this level without any trouble, without any conflict. That is a kudos to them.
And what will be your message to the youth, I mean, as far as the development of sports is concerned in the country?
Well, it's just to tell them to keep, to maintain the standards that they have set for themselves. On a part of the government, our role is to create the environment, and then so we provide the resource that is needed, and we will keep on doing that. Their responsibility is to keep on organizing events like this and ensure that they organize it successfully. And it's a way that we can be able to identify talents. Our intention is to have players coming from all over the country. So if communities like this keep organizing, it means that we'll be able to have talents, nurture the talents, and be able to build the talents to even go up to a national level. So our role will be to encourage them and tell them to keep up the good work that they have been doing over this period of time, but also in the coming months and years.
Well, that was Farmer Abaji there speaking to some senior government officials, to residents of the Gunjur community there on this tournament. But I'm afraid we've run completely out of time. This was all we had time for on today's AM show, Khadija. Well, Dembo was the camera operator here, and Farmer Abaji is the producer.
Well, till we come your way, do have a nice day and enjoy the rest of our programs.
Bye for now.
It's a bye.